Okay, welcome to part 24 of Pokemons. And in this part we'll be, again, meeting our lovely rival N. By the way, I'm not going to tell you on this video, but Google N's real name. And yes, it is ridiculous. I must say, N is probably one of the friendliest nemesis I've ever faced. Instead of just a straight-out battle, he's invited me to a trip on a Ferris wheel. Whee! You're the best worst enemy ever, N. After our battle, can we get some cotton candy? I do like how this Ferris wheel has Pokemon ball shaped Ferris capsules. Don't even know what they're called, but I do like it. This sort of thing should exist in real life, and it probably does in Japan. But anyway, we are treated to his wonderful spiel about looking after Pokemon and the like. Hang on, he's a lord, and we don't know his real name. Is he a Time Lord by any chance? Should we be calling him the N? But yeah, this is where we find out his true identity, question mark. He's actually the leader of N, the king of N. Oh, and by the way, Pokemon, if you want to have this as a twist, it might be a good idea not to have it in the opening scene of the game. We saw this guy getting coronated, okay? But here N once again presents us with his newly acquired Pokemon. But fortunately, these Pokemon isn't really something we haven't seen before. And again, you know, Snively's evolutionary line is more of a physical attacker, so I can't wait for him to learn a certain physical grass move. So not really much to say here, I'm just playing against the elemental types here. Although these battles, they always show off useful Pokemon you should perhaps consider getting. And I do like his taste. You know, nice choice, and I have one of these guys as well. And here's Scraggy. I've said this before, if I didn't have Leopard as my dark type, I would definitely have Scraggy. He's a fighting dark type, so you get the best of both worlds. And fighting dog is a good combination. As for his design, I think it's meant to be some sort of gangster with his baggy trousers, or at least I think it's supposed to be like a lizard. That sort of sheds his skin. But Scraggy's awesome. He's full of that urban gangster flavour. You gotta respect his style. Well, to me, he kind of looks like a rooster, or at least his later form does, with kind of like that, that rooster's head gear. But I suppose he's supposed to be like a frilly lizard or something. And of course, once again, we are treated to a Sigalith. One of the Pokemon which doesn't evolve in this generation. Kind of odd, but there you go. Yeah, see, even though these attacks are super effective, I'm not exactly sweeping the Sigalith. Yeah, honestly, the Leopards are kind of weak, in a sense. But, like I said, I like the Pokemon in general, the design, so I'm keeping Team Curry around. That, and how could you abandon Team Curry? Ooh, extreme close-up. Yep, and I'm sure the fangirls are squeeing over this image right about now. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, and he's so troubled and dark. Ooh, I've got such a big crush on him. Speaking of which, I think this guy does. Yeah, he does appear in the anime. So there you go. And the the Pokemon anime did have a habit of making up characters, but yeah, now we've actually got proper characters in the game. So I'm sure they'll start importing characters into the anime. Bloody clowns! The clowns just seem a bit weird to me. Never really found them funny. Oh, here we go. We have to get in our mascot somewhere. Even though he doesn't appear in the Pokédex, he's right here, right now. But anyway, now we take on the gym leader, Elesa here. Now, the gimmick for her gym is this sort of theme park. It's not really too complicated of a puzzle. You just, you just take whatever new roller coaster comes up. As you can probably guess, the type of choice in this gym is electric. And there's actually been quite a few electric type gyms throughout the series. Does seem to be a popular choice. But yeah, the whole theme of this gimmick is, I do like the design here. It's very neon. It's like we're in Tron. So again, I do like how each of the gyms has its own identity. Now this is kind of an odd move by Pokemon here. Yep, they surprise you with trainers coming off the roller coasters. But then again, life is like a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, and you throw up once you get off. Now, I do like this sort of a rocky theme here. When I say rock, it's like, hang on, whee! It's like a slow, epic building up theme. It's very appropriate for the gym leaders, and I'm talking about the music here. Although I do have to add a minor complaint about the roller coasters here, because it's not really a complex puzzle. It's really just a linear path where you have to occasionally push the odd switch. So yeah, again, these see that the loop in a Pokemon game. I think you've been playing too much Sega, Game Freak. But anyway, let's go for my crew here. Now, Brooker is a ground type, so he'll be one of my favourites, but I'll sort of keep him in the background just in case I need him. Now, Cumberbatch, being a grass type, is resistant to electric attacks. So again, he'll be a very useful Pokemon for this fight. Now, Tim Curry, I do sort of have a sort of a tactic I wanted to try out with him here, and you're about to see how it goes. Okay, Elesa, the shockingly beautiful model. Now, she'll use 3 Pokemon, although she does use 2 of the same type, which seems to be a bit redundant. Now, for this battle, you might think a ground type is useful, and then you're surprised by these 2 electric flying types. But I would say a ground type, of course, would still be useful, because a ground type would be immune to her Pokemon's most powerful attacks. So even though they're flying types, yeah, a ground type is still worth having. And of course they're showing off the Volt Switch here move, where you can see they attack and sort of switch out. But fortunately Jack Black is quite powerful with the Thrash move. And I managed to take 1 out with a single hit. But of course he's looking a little worse for wear, so I'll switch out. Now, I do send out Cumberbatch here, although something I should point out is that these Imalga Pokemon know the move Aerial Ace, so it's probably not one of my best moves. But fortunately these Pokemon don't seem to be too powerful. Look, if that wasn't a critical hit, Cumberbatch might be able to stay around for a few turns. Speaking of which, the Amalgam Pokemon, I would say I kind of like. I mean, every generation has had a Pikachu variation. Like Gen 2 it was Pichu. In Gen 3 it was Minos and Pulsey. In Gen 4 it was Parichu, whatever, that squirrel thing. And speaking of which, I think a lot of people thought this Pokemon might be an evolution of that squirrel Pokemon from Gen 4. Which does make sense, you know, one form is a squirrel, the second one is a flying squirrel. You know, it would make sense to me. But at this point, I'll try this tactic of using a stalemate. Like, I've already planted this Pokemon with a Leech Seed and Bruckner's Aqua Ring. So I'm kind of hoping to stall out this Pokemon. Beat it in a battle of attrition. Well, I was saying that, I do think it was misplaced using the Leech Seed. Like, I have this whole tactic, but I think it was unnecessary, really. But nevertheless, it worked out fine. Now, something about these Amalgam Pokemon is that they have the ability Static, which will paralyse you if you attack it with a move that makes direct contact. So, you know, that's the reason why I'm using Bubble Beam here, because I know it's a special move. And that's why I didn't use other Pokemon in my party, because they tend to know physical moves. There's something about Leopard, my Tim Curry, is that this one doesn't have the move Limber as an ability. And if you don't know what that ability does, it essentially makes you immune from being paralysed. Which is a shame, that could have been really useful for this fight. Now, something about Tim Curry here is that he knows the move Payback, which does 50 power normally, but will do 100 power if Tim Curry attacks last, if he gets damaged in the same turn. Now, to ensure this happened, I did give Tim Curry an item which slows its speed, in the hope that, Zeb Striker will attack me, Tim Curry will use Payback, and I'll take him out with one powerful hit. And that's sort of what happens here, but unfortunately Tim Curry isn't too powerful. Oh, here we see Payback, it does a lot of damage, but, yep, unfortunately it's not exactly a one-hit KO. So I switch out here. And of course Elesa, being the skilled Pokemon master that she is, she uses Hyper Potions to get her out of a bad situation. But really, I kind of think that I overthought this a bit much. I mean, like, for example, Brook is a ground type that knows a ground attack. I should have just attacked it with this guy. Oh, and this is another reason why I did use Aqua Ring, to make sure this guy was at full health for fighting Zeb Striker. Again, it goes back to my older philosophy of keeping the best member of your party in the back until you need him. Mudshot obviously does double damage. And there we go. I guess one of the more easier battles I've done so far. But then again, at this point, my party is getting quite varied. I like the design of Elesa, the sort of whole yellow and black motif. It looks pretty cool, I do like it. And we get the said move, Volt Switch, for us to use here. Unfortunately, we won't get an electric type till a little later on, so I don't really get much use out of this. But it's appreciated nevertheless. Oh, and thanks for giving us the next location. Okay, join me again, we'll be making our way to Driftvale City.